So the van didn't come with a reversing camera, and as it's pretty massive, we think it's quite crucial that it does have one. So we are going to try and install one. If you're new to this channel, we're James and Sarah, also known as The Whole World or Nothing.
We used to be full-time backpackers, exploring the world and writing about our travels on our blog.
And then the world changed.
We got repatriated from Peru and found ourselves back in the UK at a loose end. So we decided to do a van conversion.
Make sure you hit subscribe now so you can join us in this series as we share the highs and many lows of converting an old Mercedes Sprinter panel van into our dream home on wheels. This is it. So this is the brake light that's going to be replaced. So that already exists on the back of the van, and that's the camera. So we need to replace that, and then this is the bit that goes in the cab, the screen obviously, that you're hopefully going to be able to see it on. So first problem, no instructions. I'm going to have to look this up.
After a bit of research, we discovered that reversing cameras are pretty notorious for not arriving with instructions, so we contacted the seller and asked for a few hints on how to install it. To say he was unhelpful was an understatement. He basically told us to just put it all together and wire it in. Cheers, mate.
Fortunately, the first part of the installation was relatively simple and involved taking off the existing brake light by removing its two screws. Sliding a trim tool around the edge cuts the waterproof seal which holds it in place. A little wiggle and you can then unclip the light fitting, and you're ready to switch the old brake light casing for the new camera casing.
It was a bit fiddly to get the actual light out, but a small trim tool did the job. And then you just pop the old light into the new casing. It only fits in one way, so it's virtually impossible to get wrong. Now Sarah cleaned the residue of the old seal with nail polish remover, which I'm going to say probably isn't advisable, but it did get it off, and then we were ready to install the new camera.
So push that back in. Yep. And then this feeds through here, right? Okay. It's all tucked in. Okay, so I just need the screws and the Allen. Alrighty, that is the first part of the reversing camera installed. So we've replaced the brake light for one that's got the camera in it. Now we've just got to run the video feed down there and through the, well, we've got to take the bulkhead off actually first to run the cable through into the cab. The AV cable has to run all the way from the camera on the brake light to the screen in the cab, which sounds simple, but getting it down over the cab lining proved quite tricky, as it's a really tiny space to feed it through.
At first, we just dangled the wire through, but it got stuck on something. So next we tried using a bamboo stick with the wire taped to the end. That didn't work either. It was too rigid to curve down the other side, so we ended up loosening the lining by unscrewing it a bit and using a thin strip of plastic to push it through.
Once that was done, we temporarily taped the AV wire to the existing van wiring, and we thought we were ready to connect everything up.
I just thought that I'd figured out the wiring for the reversing camera, and I've put everything in place, tried to connect the AV wire to the brake light at the back, and the connector doesn't actually fit, so still can't install it. Gonna have to wait for the company to actually get back to us, I think, which is a bit of a pain in the arse.
So this is the bit that's missing?
The bit that's missing is a connector between these two cables. Need a female to female connector because they're both male leads, so they work.
That's what I couldn't figure out then. We're not stupid after all.
Absolutely. I've just had a response from the guy who sold us our reversing camera, and it turns out that he actually sent us the wrong wires, so I've been sat there puzzling over it for pretty much 2 days, and it's quite annoying. So we need an extra little piece that I think he's going to send through, so waiting for that. We're actually going to get it wired up now, just ready for that, and as soon as that plugs in, hopefully it'll work.
So you got a surprise, just came through.
Yeah.
Do you want it?
I don't know. Do I want it?
Put your hand out.
Ooh.
Open your eyes. Oh, you already opened them.
Okay, the missing part. Now we're on, we can fix the reversing camera.
In order to finish off the reversing camera, we need to give it some power. So this is plugged into the back of the reversing camera up there. This comes down. This is the cable feed that is running up and along to the cab where the actual display is, and we're just going to put this into the existing electrics. So this red one is going to go into the reversing light cable, and the black one, the negative, is just going to attach onto where the earth cables are for the van. So I've just taken that off. That was bolted onto there, and we're just going to put a new lug onto the end of the negative cable, put that onto there, and then attach the red cable to the reversing light cable, which means that will only come on and give power to the camera when the van is put into reverse gear. I've been reliably told that this blue and white cable is the positive cable that goes to the reversing camera. However, I do just want to check that. It does run down and I can see it going into the panel of lights back there, but I want to check it. So I've got a circuit tester that's got a really sharp point on it, and the idea is that you push that through the plastic of the cable so that it touches the metal of the cable, clip this onto the earth of the van, and then turn the van on, put it in reverse, and see if the light in here lights up, because that will have completed the circuit. And then when the van is out of reverse, the light should go off because there's no power to the circuit. Okay. Yeah. Yay!
Yeah?
Yes, come on. So take it out of reverse. Yeah. Put it back in reverse. Yay. Okay. Perfect. There's actually two blue and white cables. There's a blue cable with a little white stripe on it, which is the one that I tested first and it didn't work. And then another one that's a white cable with a little blue stripe on it, and that's the cable for the reversing light on a Mercedes Sprinter 2015. I think it will be the same on all of them. That's the one that we've got anyway. So I'm just going to put a little bit of insulation tape over the hole that I made in the wrong cable, just to protect it, because it's now got a little pinprick hole in it. The other thing that it's a good idea to do is on any of your connections, even though they're in quite tightly. Obviously it's a moving vehicle, it's just to tape them up to protect them a little bit so that they don't come loose. And what's also important is that you protect the cable from the metal on these little holes if you're feeding it through there like we are, because it's so sharp. Like Jay literally just cut his wrist poking that cable through there. So yeah, again with the movement of the van, you don't want the wire to be rubbing on that and chop the wire in half. I think maybe there's a few different ways you can do it, but I'm just going to wrap some electrical tape around it for now, and then maybe we'll change that at a later date. So this is just a spare red lead that we've just taped up that's coming off the video feed that we don't need. We've attached the positive red cable to the reversing camera cable just there, and then we have taken this off, which is the earth cable to the chassis, and then we've attached this onto the negative black cable of the camera, so they're both gonna screw back on to there with the original bolt. Once the positive and negative cables were connected up at the camera end, the same needed to be done for the positive and negative cables at the screen end. Again, splicing the positive into the reversing light positive cable and attaching the negative cable to the van's chassis to complete the circuit.
So here we go, this is the big test. You ready?
Yep, just make sure I got the brake on, handbrake, so I don't go through back at house. Front at house. Did I put that in reverse?
Is that reverse? You have to pull the thing up.
Oh, I think I put it in second.
I think you put it in second.
Are you ready?
Whoa! And we're on!
Oh my gosh, that's amazing! The screen's
what on earth
upside
are we
down.
looking at?
This screen's upside down.
Yeah?
Yeah. Wait, let's take it out. Watch, it'll see it go off. Oh my gosh, we did it!
Sweet as.
Our first bit of electrical wiring. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of us.
Nice work.
Can you believe I put it in second?
I know.
I was so sad. I was like,
whoa! Look at that.
It's wicked, isn't it?
Really, really cool.
It's going to make reversing so much easier.
Hopefully.
And we did it ourselves.
Yes. And it's a decent picture as well. That's
It
alright.
is.
If you enjoyed this video, please bash that thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed, hit that button too whilst you're at it, so you'll be notified to join us next week when we're going to be tackling the mammoth job of sound deadening and insulating this tin can.